you can't point them out. You got to just keep going past them. Hopefully, no one catches them, even though
I'm in my
they
own
always
head.
do.
Guess what?
What? We're live?
You're watching CEVO TV. I'm Cotton. My partner is Klops. Tonight, a Week 3 matchup between Valhalla and Imposing Proxy. Part 1 of a triple header on CEVO TV, and that's a lot of decoys. That's a lot of decoys. It's not going to fool anybody, but I guess if you hear the Glocks, you're going to think it's a fake. They'll probably try to run through them, and if you take a look at the overhead, you can see the commitment from the bomb carrier shows that this is going to be a split on B. If Joey Slow keeps fighting, keeps being a threat with map presence, he could prevent this execute from happening, but it looks like he gave up. He played a little bit too soft, so our new trainee comes in and will bolt. Oh, Ruin won't let it happen, and the trade happens right after. Bomb plant will be good. It's 4-3 on the player count. Every single CT is trapped in a passive position. 2 in the kitchen, 1 coming from the ladder room, it looks like. Here's the peek. 4 identifies 1, and they won't counter peek. Freak tags and K-Bread finishes. There's 2 left, both inside the market, and it looks like we got a round win already for Imposing Proxy. So your prediction, not starting on the best of feet, but it's still early.
Yeah, it is still early. I mean, just because you get pistol round, it's not train or nuke, so it doesn't necessarily mean it's over from there. Yeah, those decoys, I think what they were meant to do was to block out the sound of them rushing catwalk, except on, Mirage, you usually expect that mid-window player, so I don't really understand the point of it, but I think that might have been what they were going for. But either way, I mean, they got some good entries, and they were able to take that round, so I mean, good job by Imposing Proxy on that.
We're going to have
initial
a pop
pistol.
flash in, and no one's in there. It's genius. It's really well thought out, and it's totally useless.
The double peek, too.
That's just so sad.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say this about that last strat. Imposing Proxy really had a guest, or excuse me, a double agent that round in Joey Slow. That your pistols, right? And you hear Glocks firing at you. You have a P250. You don't have to play that soft, and you give up the positioning to do damage on that catwalk, and you've pretty much given up B.
Well, if you bought the P250, you don't have the head armor, and going against Glocks, the aim punch is pretty gnarly.
Well, okay, I'll give you my reasoning after this, because Amit's going to try to fire through the smoke, and if he picks up a kill, it'll be that much more impressive. So in the ladder room, Ruin attempts to get for the, I think he attempted to get the one tap and failed. 1-1 on the trade. That's the through smoke piercing shot. Pretty impressive stuff, but we were unable to capture it. And they've got bomb side B. So here's the thought process. You've got a Glock in your face, and they fire the first shot, maybe even the first 2 shots, and they're on target. But as you continue to run, remember, the execute has to have you running down the catwalk. Mm-hmm. You have to do that. Your accuracy while running on the 5th, the 12th Glock bullet is useless, and your P250 is that much more powerful.
Oh wow!
Bring up 1 versus 2. Now we need to take one out early, otherwise K-Red is pretty much screwed. So now it's a 1 versus 1. That's much more workable, and you're gonna have to pre-fire here. Darky gets it, but can he defuse with no kit?
Nope.
Sad times for him. He's got a Galil, and look, we take this round because you've forced rebuys. So even if they got that bomb plant, it's sort of a zero-sum game.
Yeah, exactly. The bomb plant kind of cancels out the fact that they forced 5 rebuys from there. I mean, the terrorists do get their money back, and they're going to be able to buy here. I mean, the CTs do get the the killing bonuses, but obviously it's not enough for them to get a full buy going here. But I mean, that eco damage was done, and now that they have a Galil on their side at the start of this round, I mean, you could potentially see another. I mean, you could potentially see a round win coming in from Valhalla right here.
That's true, and I think what we had warned you guys about early in the pregame.
Oh, are they going to do the flash now?
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to work?
It might work. They're behind pillars. Oh, not now. Noob trainees out in the open. There's the pop flash. Did it get him? We're in. It's time to kill everybody. They're dead. The strat's blown up, and the bomb is dropped. Everybody reports to A. The execute on A is just a little lackluster now. Yeah, the smokes are in, but it kind of doesn't do you anything. You got to make big plays now. K-Red, Vor, and Buddy are just out and retreating. Clay, they've got a minute left, and it looks like they're going to try to navigate back around the map to try to, counter-flank the flankers. I like this.
I mean, they're in a tough spot. The 2 guys in Palace now have AKs. They still have Darky with the Galil in the A site. And if they go for the flank, I mean, they're initially just fighting evenly. So it's going to be rough for them. But Vor opening it up nicely.
He's got 2. They're going to go for the bomb. 40 seconds remain. It's very doable. Buddy will try to split execute on the ramp. He's got 1 to beat at the... Oh, Darky misses a 11 HP Buddy. Solo Subs is the last one alive, and they'll try to race the tease will all the way back to bomb side B. He'll pick up a gun. Valhalla's solo sub will, but this went sour real fast.
It did, and he knows, but if he could get to the apartment window, I mean, he could get the drop on these guys as they come into the site. Look at Buddy. He only has 11 health, so he's a liability right now.
Now, we've had this philosophical talk before, actually, with Steel. Do you try to bait yourself and identify that last player, or do you play for the clutch and hide as the weak player? You tell me later, because right now we have a clutch to have. 1 versus 2 and 5 HP, solo substitute, clutch with no kits. Our number 4 man presses around the corner, and he's taking too long now. He knows he's got to make a move. He's still waiting, and imposing Proxy. This is not some open team. They're not going to make that mistake. He'll save the Galil, right? There's another reason to save that because it could be used next round, but I really would have loved to see him try.
Yeah, I don't think he realized that Buddy was so low. If he'd known, I think he probably would have gone for it. You mentioned, do you bait the lower health player? I think it kind of depends on the situation. In that situation where you're entering in that situation where you're entering the bomb site, yes, I think you do, because you want to know where the CT player is at, and then you have the full health to finish him off. But say if you're like doing an entry and someone dinked you, and then I think you want to hang back and then not just relinquish the kill to the enemy team right away.
Imposing Proxy is up 3-0, but their economy has not built at all. Take a look. They're comparable to the CT team right now. In fact, when I say comparable, I mean identical. That's good eco rounding. Now, Valhalla's probably a little disappointed that they didn't walk away with one of those rounds. Take a look. Darky's wielding an op. Do they challenge him? And if they challenge him, how do they do it?
Well, I mean, they have the smokes going out mid. They actually missed the window smoke, so this could be very, very bad for these guys.
Connector slide out, and Joey Slow is just barely flashed in time. Good timing there. Then the spray down. Buddy picks it up on the 5th round of the burst, and Darky's going to try to hit a crossing. Oh, sad times. Sad times for Darky. He's missed his opportunity to peek twice in a row, then gets pre-fired, and now Valhalla's left with 2 men alive. And a bad nade, a very bad nade. An even worse nade. Zamet's the last one alive. He's inside the kitchen, and with his M4A1, armor, kit, and flashbang, you kind of have to consider saving now.
I think this is a definite save. Going up against 3 people, they know exactly where you're at. There's only 2 entrances to come out for him. Pretty easy to watch, but I mean, he's going Rambo.
I don't understand that decision. I understand Valhalla doesn't like the concept of lost momentum, but that's just not a necessary play.
Yeah, he would have had that gun for the next round right now, but unfortunately, I kind of feel like that came down to Darky and the connector player, which I didn't see who it was, unfortunately. But Darky kind of failed in that hold on mid. He had the op. They failed their window smoke, so I mean, he should have been able to just pick those guys apart, but he gave up his spot and initially tried to peek cat, and then as soon as someone came in his window and he missed, he just backed up completely and went towards the B window, which, I mean, you can't just give up mid that easily and just leave your connector player to die.
We're too early in the game to really be pulling from current metrics, but notice just how free... Oh, there's an easy headshot that Darky could have picked up. Now he has to trade 1 for 1, which is fine, considering what he did to the enemy team. The next kill comes from the catwalk all the way to the connector. The 5-7 looking for a headshot. Zamet picks one up, rather luckily, I will add. And they'll try to come back across and hold ladder for the rotate back. I don't know if they're going to press to B. What I was saying, though, is that notice in your mental probabilities that bomb site B has been just a bit abused early in this game. I think they're looking for a personnel matchup that they like.
That could be the case. I mean, they've been going mid to B too, so they really haven't been meeting opposition in mid, and we do know that mid control is the most important key to this map, so why not keep pressing for that if you're not getting shut down each round?
These nades have been on point for imposing Proxy. Solo Steps is the last one alive. Notice that he has a... Oh, tragedy strikes. He dives for a gun, picks it up, gets the flashbang kill, goes Rambo, and picks up the last... He got the first round of the game, but look at how much style was involved.
That that was so awesome to see. Solo Subs coming in huge for his team. I mean, wow. Good eco round.
Like Beckham. Holy cow.
Yeah,
what
I mean,
the hell?
Wow. That was amazing. Going in for the bunny hop to get the AK and getting that kill. Beautiful.
My God.
I was going to say, too, you mentioned players for imposing proxy, and I wanted to say Solo Subs is probably my player to watch for Valhalla.
Yeah, yeah, he's been around the block a couple of times. Now these players, people from Europe are going to be like no names, but those of us who really watch North America closely know that this is a pretty formidable team. By the way, we're on an eco round, and thanks to so many good but losing anti-ecos or ecos, whatever you'd like to call them, they are in a position to force ecos now. So they're in a good spot. Freak hits a hard edge. It honestly didn't look like one. I don't think he had his feet set. Oh, there's just no way to survive that with 1 HP. 1 versus 2, then the gun down. Solo Subs has 3 of the last kills that we've seen on screen, and he will end up with an MVP star.
And like you said, Valhalla's been playing really well. You know, all these rounds have been very close, and that's why we saw imposing proxy have to go with an eco after losing just that one initial round. Well, not one initial round, the second round, even though they won a couple in a row. And, you know, Valhalla's really been doing a good job on their ecos, forcing those rebuys, and they're just keeping the economy down of imposing proxy. And now they know, okay, they got the bomb plant so they could buy, but if we pick up this round, they don't get the bomb plant, then they're probably going to save, and that's when you start just keeping track of the economy, and you can start taking the lead that way.
A full commit for the A split, the A commit. There's a lot of smokes to be thrown, and what we've seen early from imposing proxy is it's a top of E-box, it's a jungle, and a CT smoke. And commonly what the pros are doing now, and we don't know if they're going to do this, but there's only 3 down there, is that they're starting to throw smokes inside of the site to make the CT move out from cover. Without that, it's tough to navigate, but they haven't done enough scouting yet. They haven't really gotten into A successfully yet, so they don't know who's playing where. This is dangerous. They're in. Vor's the first. Looks the cubby, even pre-fires it, and damn it, pre-fires him even faster. You're flashed, buddy. You're looking right at a CT, and if you look to your right, Joey Slow is there waiting for you. So Freak's the last one alive. He's fighting through smoke. He did plenty of damage to Joey Slow right there. He drops back out into the palace. Now, here's my reasoning, Clay. You've never made it into A successfully on a gun round, and now that you're trying it, it would have been better to, instead of go for a set piece, go for the solo pick, right? You go for the ISO pick, so that if you lose that player, you get a trade maybe, but you start to understand how the CTs conceptualize the bomb site, so the next time you come back on a set piece, you can do it with more educated guesses.
I agree with that. Learn where the players are at, or even, you know, do a speed run and see where they initially go for their setups, and then you could go off that as well. They actually had 3 people set up in the palace area, and they were sitting behind the pillars expecting that pop flash to come in, which it did, except they didn't punish the peeker that time from Valhalla. So they kind of have a feeling of what Valhalla is doing. They just don't know where the rest of the players are in the site. Hopefully they got that information now and they could adjust accordingly. But like I said, they're into another save now, and you know, quickly approaching that buy save slide that we always talk about.
Imposing proxy, not exactly being the benefactors of a healthy economy because of Valhalla's efforts, is on another eco round. I like to see, so the next time you come back, if imposing proxy does have a strong IGL presence, they should, this is a should in quotes, they should realize that they do play someone in sight and that player doesn't really want to move. And on that round, they had 2 players in sight. I would expect that somebody tries to throw a smoke, a molly, something into the site to disrupt their pattern of play.
Yeah, I think they would do that as well. You know, maybe a smoke at CT, but I don't know if that will actually block off the guy. And, you know, hope maybe they don't have the actual site smokes in their arsenal. I would hope that they do, but you just never know with some of these teams, honestly.
You peaked just the wrong time, K-Bread. Ruin will find you. Then Joey Slow maybe picks up a double through the corpse of another teammate, and it's not the case. Iron Noob Trainee is going to fall back into the tunnels and try to make a play with 33 seconds remaining. He doesn't have anything to save in particular. He's got a P250. I think he's going to try to lurk and get a last-second kill. There's really no... Oh, he's coming back. He's coming back. Look, we're going to be tied up here. I thought this was going to slide out of hand.
Well, and that's, you know, it had the potential to, but the rounds were so close that imposing proxy weren't able to build up a big, strong economy. And so when they did lose rounds, then they were forced to, you know, barely buying in the next round or going to the save. And that allowed Valhalla to climb back into this game. And now, like I said, since, you know they saved last time, if they win this one, that's probably going to be another save. And then they're going to be taking the lead.
Okay, well, I see an op on the field for Vor, and maybe we go for a mid-control here. It makes your life so much easier without that mid-vision. Oh, we have set smokes, too.
Yeah, and if I was Vor, I would feel confident about this. I mean, the last time they've attacked mid, Darky really didn't put much of a fight in mid. So he should feel good about counter picking.
Freaks back to T-spawn. The bomb's been dropped by that TV room at the board of the exit, the entrance, I should say, of the tunnels. We've got a really oddly passive control of mid here, and you see so many styles of CT control of mid. The 1-3-1 has been a passing favorite in the global offensive era, but right now it's an off mid, off connector, off catwalk. Hold, this is very weak. It's dangerous.
Well, if you notice, they actually moved their op towards the B main apartments, and I think that's the reason for their setup. Since they don't have an op to counter their potential op, they don't know for sure if they do have one. I think they decided to go with the passive approach. And he
worth
just got
noting that,
right there.
that the CT op is an aggressive op. It's moved into the apartments. It's actually supported as well. I know it's not. That's a cat player who Vor just too quick. Destroys Ruin. Now Darky, if he just stays still, he needs to stay here because if he falls back, he cannot use this op effectively. That wall is still pierceable and it's thin. All he needs is a shot. He's not even flashed inside the site. Freak begins the entrance. 2 versus 3, 1 alive at the back. 4 gets dinked from behind, and it's just a ping-pong back and forth effort. And awkwardly, Freak was trying to plant into the smoke, but I think Solo Sub saw him and realized that he couldn't be seen because of the weird valve smoke.
Yeah, it started off with a good entry with Vor onto the catwalk, but like you said, Darky was pushed up in the B main, and none of imposing Proxy was expecting that, and they just got annihilated by his op as they tried to come out through underpass, and that just completely shut down their strategy for the most part. The rest of the guys trying to move in on cat got pinched by the guy in connector and the guy in the store, so they were pretty much just bottlenecked and had nowhere else to run.
Speaking of nowhere else to run, what is Joey Slow doing? Like, that's not even... What?
I don't know. Did he came out of connector too, huh?
He did. Those tiles in the underpass are so loud. It's like click clack, click clack, click clack. How can you run toward that?
Not sure. You usually only pull that if
Oh god. Well, Darky saves his teammate in CT. Vor gets shot in the back and forth we have bad plays being made. That's alright. Imposing Proxy will take it. It's going to be tied up at the end of this round if Ruin and Solo Subs do not clutch, which it looks a bit hard to do. So Ruin will try. He sees the first shot. He does a very swag-esque elbow bait and causes the AK fire to go awry for K-Bread. Then the trade. Free up Solo Subs, a Ruin versus 3. Here's his attempt, or not attempt. He'll back up now. He's got an AK, a bunch of things to save. I like the call.
Yeah, he's got a smoke, 2 flashes, armor, and a kit, and I think he's even got a P250. So yeah, his kit is definitely worth saving right now. Except he just used the smoke to essentially save him from being killed by a cat pusher, which is fine. But he's still saving a lot of money, and it is the right call, like you said. Looking at their economy, they can buy on the next round. So saving that gun, definitely the right call.
Look at the performances across the entire server. 6, 7, 9. Everybody is contributing identically. I guess this really validates our statement earlier that I had mentioned that there's no superstars standout on these rosters. They're all very solid. I think the Darky beats Vor, and you had said that Vor had an easy time with Darky earlier. So now we're evened up.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been the fact that they've been going through mid and haven't met any anti-op opposition. So maybe he just, I mean, he looked like he was expecting someone, but maybe he was just had like the passive aggressive look towards it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, well, passive aggressive and like the don't shoot me, you really don't want to.
Like oh, I'm gonna peek this, but I don't really expect someone to be there.
Like, I'm not cooking your casserole if you shoot me.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Does Carrie let you op?
You know that's all I do is op, so.
Okay. I feel like that was like one of those.
Don't touch my op.
Okay.
I got some rules, okay?
Are you telling
one
Carrie
of them is
this?
don't touch my op.
Are you telling Carrie this or are you telling me this?
I'm telling you.
Okay. A little uncomfortable now. Flash it. Ruin's holding on. You know, that's one of the worst places to hide. It's such a placebo because it used to be so strong, but that's so pierceable now. And if somebody sees you falling back to it, you are so dead. That's a very impressive 2 burst by Freak. By the way, Solo Subs has dropped 1 alive. Zamet has, if you looked at his health bar, it's transparent. He has 1 HP.
Exactly, and I don't know if going for this would just be pure suicide, but saving it is kind of a death sentence as well. If he could grab this op, awesome. I would take that and just run away if I can.
Okay. I mean, there,
Okay.
there's there's every reason to do it, but Zamet just doesn't. He's the long hair that doesn't care. Okay. All right. Fine.
I feel like the pros don't fake doesn't apply when you only have 1 health
Yeah.
because
Everything in that last like 15-second sequence was just I wouldn't do that, but it somehow worked all the way up until the end.
yeah.
We are in a back and forth game, and halfway, or a little bit more than halfway into this first half, Imposing Proxy has just taken the lead again and has reestablished their economy and forced Valhalla into an eco round.
What?
I'm very intrigued. These teams, and I didn't finish this thought earlier, by the way. They don't have that standout superstar player. They're all very solid, which some people think is their shortcoming and why maybe they haven't taken the step to the next level yet. But it makes for damn entertaining Counter-Strike. They are so evenly matched.
I mean, it's always nice to have a superstar, but when you're depending on one person to carry you through a game, what if he has a bad day? Then you end up losing. I mean, I don't, buy into that theory of why they're not to the next level because of that, but
Solo Sups is on a mission today. He stopped the push into the site. Still 3 Ts remain. K-Bread is shot through smoke. Headshot right through that little crease. 1 alive. It's room 30 HP and a CZ-75A. Probably no chance. Very clever nade. You know what? That's so easy to throw. You just put your face up against that box, right-click, and just chuck it up in the air. I'm going to use that. I will.
yeah, explodes perfectly if he was CT spawn, but he's not. If only he had a kit and he didn't shoot, he would have had that.
Yeah, I think he baited some players back to get an exit kill. He did force an exit death. I suppose that's a success given the price that you paid for your CZ. 7 rounds for Imposing Proxy to Valhalla's 5.
It's interesting, though. I mean, and impressive that Imposing Proxy was able to come back and take the lead here. Because Valhalla did establish control. They built up their economy, and they were controlling the game for a little bit there. But, I mean, like you said, it's so back and forth, and now it's Imposing Proxy's game, and they're forcing Valhalla into that buy-safe slide. And, they're building up their economy. I'm wondering if we're going to see it slip back. I mean, we only have a few rounds left here, but...
I thought that nade was going to land right at Thor's feet. It didn't. They backed up. They'll flash back out. Buddy will come streaking out. And nobody will be there. I like having that underpass player, Clay. It gives you a lot of leverage as to controlling the pace of that mid-window player. It gives you a lot of security.
Yeah, depending on where the mid-window player is. I mean, some people push all the way up to the edge, and then you just get a free headshot if you're that underpass player. But it also gives you someone else to look towards connector and pick up that guy if there is someone lurking in there.
We've got a very amoebic formation for Imposing Proxy. They're moving back and forth all hive ant style because they know that Valhalla has pushed into the tunnels on both sides of the map very aggressively twice now. Even on gun rounds with the op. Remember Darky pushing into the B tunnels. They also do the pop flash in at A, and Imposing Proxy is taking the free kills where they can get them. And that's a subtle and very undervalued, unappreciated IGL decision. Just understanding when the temperament of your opponents will give you free kills.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I like what they did. They put someone in B to try to sell a fake, but unfortunately, you got to get kills to do that. But either way, I mean, I was going to say it looks pretty good going in the Sentry.
And we've got 1 versus 2. Joey Slow could have waited for a teammate. They'll let the bomb plant happen instead, and as Freak tries to escape, he's probably... Darky missed his chance right there. 1 versus 2, and then it's just 2 versus Bomb. 7-6.
Valhalla does get that round. The bomb goes down, so Imposing Proxy not going to have any problems buying. But Valhalla, squeaks out of having to save for the coming up end of the half here. And, I mean, they have a chance to tie it up, maybe even make it an 8-7 lead now.
Will it be that? I feel very much that this half has to end 8-7 the way it's gone.
I mean, if they pick up this round, then they definitely get the A7, because that's going to force Imposing Proxy to save. But, Imposing Proxy might make this a 9-6. I mean, they've been doing pretty well at the second part of this half. So
you were allowed to redo your pred now that you have this knowledge about how close these two teams play. Would you still call it a 16-11?
I think I would have probably called it a little closer now that I'm seeing this, but
Yeah,
yeah.
about Darky's actually listening for that tunnel play, and he's being a little bit loud here. But as he hugs the wall, he can hear people coming in through the B tunnels. Even as far back as that red wall toward the back, where the L shape kind of turns toward the bedroom area.
Hmm.
I can't help but wonder if that last player, the number 6-man Freak, stopped just a hair late because he seems to know something. And there's been no intelligence gathering from the A players. They're just all holding their stock positions.
Not really sure. I mean, they aren't playing their standard. Well, now he's gone back to the standard B main hold at the
Oh,
van.
now it's obvious. Now it's really, really obvious. Ruin's fighting. Darky claims the first, and then the flick. Ruin picks it up, then moves to the bench. He doesn't even need it. The bomb's dropped through the headshot of Ruin on Iron Noob Trainee. Freak runs through the smoke. Old E-box. Gun down. How is this happening? It's back even. 2-2, no bomb plant, and Freak hears. And I know Counter-Strike Global Offensive sounds sucks, but he has to put 2 and 2 together. That has to be an underpass runner. He missed the jump. He might die because of this, and he does. 1 versus 2. K-Bread's the last. Zamet wants to press the smoke in the old default plant corner. Is K-Bread. Zamet making a ton of noise. Then the Okie Doke. The second player comes back around. Solo Sup will get the kill and the defuse.
So I think the only reason why Valhalla almost lost that round and lost the site was because the rotates were a little slow. You saw one of them went underpass to B main, which I don't think was really necessary. When you have such a good defensive hold where Ruin picks up 2, and I think it was the other cat player picked up 1, and you only have 2 people left, there's no reason to do a very long flank. They should have been able to get there quicker and just help their teammates out rather than letting them die. But either way, they picked up the round, and now it's tied. Like I said, they should be able to pick up this next one.
That was a good nade. 4 ate a lot of that one. Yes, they could pick it up no matter what. Both teams call this a decent half, but a lot of meta recently would say, oh, this is a good incendiary. Will it come back and hit the lip of the catwalk? It does. It doesn't stop anyone from running through, but it is pretty intimidating. Ruin hits the first, Darky picks up the next. Those 2 B players have been pretty stalwart after those first initial pickups, and if these imposing proxy players have tried to find a personnel mismatch, it's quickly been resolved. Joey Slow hits 1 left. Freak to hold off the entire retake force by himself. That's a good way to start. That's a bad way to end. There's the defuse from Solo Sups, who has just been the defuse master. He'll have another, which will end his half, and the half of his team. 8-7 for Valhalla.
Yeah, I like that molly as well. Like you said, I think it probably would have been a little better if he actually threw it towards the long part of cat that actually heads towards B, because once that smoke pops, if they are going to do a committed cat rush, then they're going to run immediately. They're not going to just, inch their way across, and so you got to get that molly down as quick as possible. But very close game. It's going to be interesting to see what Valhalla has for their T side. I'm trying to think.
Okay. Coming up next, after this, by the way, guys, we have 2 giveaways to do tonight. I'm not sure if we're going to do it in an interval after this, but there are 2 mouse pads. They are for followers and subscribers. We'll tell you which one is which, and they are for North Americans exclusively because we don't ship that far. If you didn't know, information about the CEVO-Main is available on www.cevo.com. Find out how to register to play in the BYOC. Find out how to get a visitor's pass if that information is available. It should be. And if it isn't, that will be available shortly. Either way, October the 10th, we are in Philadelphia for the conclusion of the road to Philadelphia, the road to the GXL. Here's our pistol round. You're watching CEVO TV. I'm Cotton. My partner is Flops. We have 1 decoy today, just thrown back at the spawn, and then a speed B play. This feels very, very puggy, but it may just work. And we're getting smoke kills, according to Buddy. 1 in the sight, and a free headshot missed as Buddy backpedaled and sacrificed his accuracy to survive the encounter. Probably a good decision. Look at Solo Subs pushed into the kitchen. He can blindside somebody right now. Picks it up, then is traded. K-Bread really fast. Then Darky to pick up the second, perhaps. Gets his Glock under control, now 1 versus 3. K-Bread's in the kitchen, 1 behind White. Could have picked up the flick above that White man. It gets gooshed. Picks it up still. It's looking grim, though. How to finish. Joey Slow makes it look good. There's the first round. The first round of many, they hope.
And even though it was somewhat of a pubby strat, I mean, you still can't beat the entries. As long as you get those, you're going to be fine. no matter what you do on pistol round. The entries come in and open up the site, and they just get the bomb down, and they just have to defend it. And it wasn't too hard for them after that. So Valhalla getting that early pistol round, that's going to give them a pretty big boost. As long as they don't get ecoed right now, then I think they're well on their way to winning this.
Now, when you're on an eco round, commonly, especially at this level, you need to stick together for fear of losing guns and not being able to trade. So that's exactly what Valhalla is doing, leaving one single defender, and he, by the way, he has a USP, to lurk and harass bomb site A. I like this call. I do. I fully endorse protecting rifles.
I do as well. I mean, you don't want to lose a rifle and, at worst, you know, give it to the enemy team and then they pick it up and turn that eco on you even harder. So this is a good call. I mean, and if Darky could get the information that they stacked A, I mean, they could immediately just go B with those.
There's the ambush. Freak drops Ruin, and then the trade comes really, really fast. Joey slow hits it and may even consider going out to CT spawn or just streaming out of the jungle and blowing away Buddy. You still got one alive at the firebox, and maybe he's going to get a ninja kill, which he's considering doing right now. If he does it, I will freak out.
I think it's what you have to go for at the moment. You're not expecting to kill all 4 players when they have rifles, but I mean, if a Zamet walks into him, he's screwed. Don't do it. Oh!
Oh! Darky saves it. The guy without a gun finishes off that round. K-Bread at least entertained us. He, the entertainer, has how much money? He's got a bit. He's got a bit more than his team. Around 4,300. 10-7.
Yeah, you could buy a pistol, try to equalize a little bit, or just save and pick up an op for Vor if they want to go into this, because Vor actually looks like he is lacking a bit in terms of money.
Yeah, even depending on the spawn, Free can pick it up as well. He's capable of doing it if they want to slide out from the mid early as possible. They'll move fast. Valhalla will up mid to control catwalk or even come back toward A. It's not full mid control, it's just a pressure catwalk. The B players have recoiled back into the site to turtle up. We're just waiting for that jungle player to slide out. Joey waited for that arch player to slide out. He gets it. They won't push into A, or B, excuse me. I like this. No commitment to the sites because they don't need to. They're just waiting for the players to over-rotate. Because on an eco round, you're going to try to overwhelm with numbers and try to be in places they don't expect. And by just letting the CTs come to you, you've done your job.
Yeah, and it's way less risky when you do that because you have the guns, and if you protect them, like the last round, then, you know, less chance of you losing the round. You know, Ruin actually taking a little while to pick up Vor right there. Like, yeah, just looked at him like, hey, what's good? Hey, is that a terrorist? I don't know.
Are we still CT? That's a nice little flash that Darky just threw ineffectual. And the last play alive, K-Bread, who was so stealthy on the last round, is just doing the exact same charade act. But I think he's about to be flanked. He can, you know, you can hear that T-spawn.
K-Bread's been the last man standing in these past 3 rounds. He's full ninja status on this half.
He might pick up another one. Not the AK is just too strong. So now we're on to the gun rounds. You've got tons and tons and tons of money to work with. But there's a really, really big caveat here. You can't fail. If you're new to Counter-Strike and you don't understand the concept, you full buy here, and then you hit tab like Klops just did, and then you look really poor.
And K-Bread did actually buy the op for Vor, and that allowed him to pick up head armor and nades, where if he just bought the op by himself, he would have been a little bit broke there. So, I mean, good decision making there. Spread out the money across your team so you guys could all get your nades.
This bothers me. No gun round information about how Imposing Proxy plays a site. If you did film study, I could see how this would work, but Mirage hasn't been played this season, and Imposing Proxies is a prominent CEVO team, so with a revamped roster. I wish
it's just the assumption that, you know, everybody plays one guy E-box, everybody plays one CT for the most part. But yeah, I understand what you're saying.
We would have liked to have gone for the ISO, because sometimes throwing these smokes is just, there's procedure, right? Teams know how to counter this pressure. You saw right there the E-box player step through the smoke, the Insight player threw a counter flash, and of course the rotator from the window ran back towards CT to help. There's procedure. People drill this. People practice this, how to defeat the set smoke, or defeat the set piece. Clearly, Imposing Proxy is in main, and they're very good, so yeah, they know how to do that. You gotta get your information.
Absolutely. I feel like a setup for A that you don't need to maybe have information would be Titan smokes, where they basically split the site in half, And
Yes. Oh
that
yeah. Oh
yeah,
yeah.
that's something you would do if you don't have information, in my opinion, because then you could just focus on one side of the map, and essentially you're cutting the team in half, and it makes it much easier to isolate. Whereas if you throw a CT smoke and then an electrical smoke, there's still they could push through to the site, or there might be someone. There's different areas where they could just easily adjust to get through this.
Flops is of course talking about spot smokes, right? They fall
Yeah.
into the site, they fall on the E-box, they fall in the jungle, but they're just because smokes. That I know grammatically that sucked, but you really did understand. You're throwing them just because it makes sense. And that's not the way to do it. You have to make educated decisions on how to throw those smokes. That VG smoke, well, I suppose Titan smoke is. Did I reference a VG team that hasn't been called VG for a year now?
You did. That was a little odd.
Oh, my bad. That Titan smoke siphons off out of sight, and that makes so much more sense. You can throw that without committing. You don't need that intel. More importantly, we've got a gunfight going on. The execute's already here at A. It's sort of messy. 3T's alive. Ruin, Darky, and Joey Slow fighting off the defenders. IR Noob Trainee, K-Bread, Fourth, Flank, taken care of. Noob Trainee so fast. Then the trade. Ruin hits the shot. Okay. All you need is tracers, apparently, and Joey Slow just missed his golden opportunity to hit that opper. One-on-one with the player at the ticket. Vor has a chance to knock down this player with a... Ooh.
Beautiful shot. I mean, that round could have easily been Valhalla's had Darky picked up those 2 kills, or even just 1 kill. I mean, he had the drop on 2 people, and he completely whiffed, unfortunately. So that's really unfortunate for Valhalla. Imposing Proxy picks up the gun round, and now they could essentially start taking control back from this game.
How do they do that?
Well, I mean, they got the win, and obviously Valhalla is going to be saving. If you see the guns that they're buying, it's going to be pistols. They do have some smokes. It looks like they're going to try to smoke off something at B here and maybe get some flashes, just try to get the bomb down. But if they get this and then win this next gun round, then they should be set for it.
Oh, these nades suck. This hurts so bad. This not good. Darky's the last one alive, and he did do plenty of damage to Freak, who will probably back off and call for a teammate to help him. They've identified the last, and there's no way he wins this one, short of a Counter-Strike miracle or a Christmas miracle.
Sucks when you go for the B rush, and then you get a molly in your face, followed up by an HE grenade, and then you're just sad panda.
It could have been guessed, though. The other team is good. They're keeping tabs on your economy. How did that even work? Everybody knows that Darky's out of mid.
Not sure. I guess it looked like obviously that he was peeking towards lower. Maybe Freak thought he heard him lower. I mean,
what is going on? Okay, there we go. 11 to 10. I mean, there's no analysis to be given, right?
Not for that one. I mean, it was pretty obvious what they were trying to do, just to B rush that got annihilated by some well placed pre-nades. So
you're running your little 2K, and you're just talking to your team. Okay, guys, just make sure you get out of the door, and you hear that ting ting ting, and you're like,
and you just immediately frown. You're just like, great. I hope we survive going through this, but it's most likely not going to happen.
That's a perfect description. You frown. There's nothing to be said. Your entire team is just like. By the way, Ruin, look back to your left. You need some help. That smoke will block off that. I don't know that you need so many players in the underpass, but I suppose if you make it work, then I could be the one that's wrong. 4 players, now 3, and 1 in B tunnels, holding in the underpass, and know that one of them is the bomb planter. You've got somebody tucked into the mid-right, and he has an op. Darky does. They're gonna, I think, force a window boost. Yeah, I think they already have.
They did, yep.
Ruin got it, and Freak is down. So here come the rotates. Keep a very close eye on the minimap, because how the B players rotate out to assist their teammates is critically important. They need to get there fast, because they are now being flanked. Ooh. That hurts. You're still in the sight. You saw that rifle. K-Bread got him, and Ruin was just not ready. That's not a position you're typically looking for. I can't blame him for being surprised. It just it seemed obvious on our screen because of the X-ray.
Yeah, the rifle did stick out the side, but we'll give it to him.
Yeah, we'll give it to him. One more left at the ticket, and he's very, very, very stuck. Oh God.
Not giving up that op easily.
No, Darky drops him 12 to 10. Valhalla, who started on rocky footing, is up 2.
Honestly, I felt like that strategy they did was a little bit dangerous. Everyone grouping up in underpass under the window. I mean, had the cat player and the connector player, done some pop flashes and played aggressively, that could have pretty much ruined their day. I mean, they wouldn't have been able to retreat because everybody's sitting in the underpass and just clogging up the hole there. So I mean, it would have been bad times.
I just wanted to point something out here. Are we over the time limit for the beginning of the GGE game?
It should be starting right now. Maybe
Okay.
they're delayed. I don't know. I can't really alt tab to see what Mr. Spangler is trying to do.
I'm okay with joining the game a little late
Yeah.
because this game is good. This game is clearly really good. As long as we're not missing like an entire half, I'm all good.
Well, we know how those P teams like to show up late, so.
Yeah, they don't do promises. It really gets on my nerves sometimes.
It really does. I feel like they need to be like have classes in punctuality or something.
Shock collars. What?
Huh? I don't know.
What? One left. It's Freak with the CZ. Imposing Proxy will surrender this round, and now we start counting the rounds, right? You're close to it. You're close to the tie point. Imposing Proxy has to think about their economy. So you're sitting at 44 top end and 14 low end. That's Buddy who's sitting on 14. You save this round. You get enough money. Somebody is on the border of having to buy Buddy, by the way. And then the math doesn't help you toward the end because the next time you're able to buy is 15. The next round is the game.
Yeah, I mean, well, if Freak saves this, he could buy somebody, like you said. That's if he saves it.
Yeah.
I thought maybe he was gonna die right there, but he does manage to do it. I mean, I feel like they're gonna go in and force here because Buddy's the only one who can't buy, and Freak obviously can't buy him. So yeah, I mean, this puts them in a predicament. Like you said, if they lose this round, their economy is completely trashed. So they're gonna be saving again. I mean, if they get a bomb plant, then yeah, that might save it. But no, sorry, I'm talking about Valhalla. Excuse me. CTs can't bomb plant.
It's a very simple thing. CTs win this round, they can keep on buying. CTs
Yep.
lose this round, they can only buy on the tie point 15.
Exactly. Thank you.
We've got a set execute for A, or at least a push prevent down at the A ramp, 2 to mid control, and this will be a two-way wrap, no palace presence, but I guess if you have that mid control and the connector, it doesn't make too big of a difference. That mid player, that jungle player, is going to be critical for this to work. Critical for either side. Oh, he shot his fanny pack. He shot his Batman
Shot
belt.
his
I'm
fanny
serious.
pack.
And there are a lot of things about
You
Counter
can't say the
Strike.
CTs are wearing fanny packs, man. Come on.
We have stickers and multicolored, rainbow guns. Why can't they have fanny packs?
I don't
That
know.
bomb's down. Does K-Red know? He didn't see the bomb drop, I think.
I mean, even if he did, what does it net them? I mean, the terrorists are there. It's not like the CTs can swarm there and guard the bomb, so.
That's true. That friendly flash that allows Freak to peek could have netted him a kill if he was a little bit more aggressive. The fight is on. The shots through the smoke are picking up kills. 2 versus 4. Valhalla's going to lose one. Imposing Proxy coming up big when they absolutely needed it. 3 versus 1. Darky the last with an off, considering now saving if he doesn't get a kill right away with 15 seconds remaining. Surely he runs. Or not. 13 to 11.
Yeah, he went for it, and I think it's because their economy is pretty decent. Unfortunately, I don't think the op was the weapon of choice in that situation. Being up close against 3 people, probably not going to work out too well, and as you saw, it didn't. But yeah, he has enough money to pick up another op, so they should be good if he wants to go for another pick. Vor actually being able to pick up an op now since they picked up that round, got some extra cash, and we might be seeing an op battle here.
I'd like to see it. I'm always a proponent of op battles, and not nearly as much as you, but, I'm still a fan. I feel like that that passive sports watcher, the not avid sports watcher when it comes to opping, like, you are like, op battle, and I'm like, oh, cool, op battle.
It's just you always want to see who's the quicker draw, you know?
Referencing the wrong sports player in the wrong sport.
Yeah.
That guy at the party. We've got 5 alive for the CTs. Imposing Proxy looking good, and Zamet kind of knows where this player is. All it takes is a little pre-fire, and he got it. He was totally blind, but he'll take it. Style points not needed. 4-4 on the player count. 50 side. Oh.
And I was looking at the mini-app seeing that the number 9 man, which is Vor, actually in the jungle as well. I was thinking, why didn't you trade? But then I realized it's Vor, and he has an op, so that's probably why he didn't go for the trade. Didn't want to be exposed and loot. Yeah, exactly.
We got a late execute on B, and look at the presence in B. The control was not there. Now they've reestablished. A 7-man Iron Noob trainee is back. He's got his rifle ready. They're seeing the exit with 30 seconds left. This is a forced commit. Valhalla's
nice
in
molly.
a bad spot. They're in a really bad spot.
Yeah, completely roadblocked by that molly, and now they kind of have to decide if they want to keep going for this, but the time doesn't permit, so they have to go for it.
Iron Noob trainee, I think, chose not to shoot for the express purpose of knocking down the bomb planter. Playing this passively could lose him the round. I think he just made the wrong decision. He needs to stay alive right now.
4 seconds. I don't know if they're going to get this bomb down.
He doesn't see that bomb planter, and he could have stopped him.
Last second. Oh, my goodness.
Easy. One-on-one, last player alive for the T's. Has 11 HP, and pretty much to hold off the remainder of the game, Imposing Proxy needs this one. K-Bread to clutch. And we kite. That gun sticks out. He's got it, and a kit. He'll make this 13-12.
This game is so back and forth. Just when you think one team is taking control of the game, of the economy, and just establishing a lead, then the other team comes back and, does the same. And that bomb plant, it doesn't even give Valhalla enough money to really buy here. I mean, they can force, but it just wouldn't be smart. So I think they're going to go for the save and, let Imposing Proxy, well, not let Imposing Proxy, but Imposing Proxy will probably take this one, tie it up 13-13, but then at least Valhalla will have full buys, and they should be able to try to get the next round win, and maybe hope that Imposing Proxy has to save from that, and then go for the win.
This is surprising, isn't it? I don't think I would have pinned these two teams identically. Even like they go back and forth in the moments that they need it. Actually, more pressing topic is a Counter-Strike philosophy question. Do you ever bait that bomb plants and try to bait and build a win through a clock, like running that clock down when you have players running at you? That takes big balls.
It really does. I mean, I don't even think he was actually... You can't be looking at the clock when someone's charging you and be like, oh, no, there's 4 seconds left. I don't think he's going to get the plant. Like, I think he was just in the moment and didn't realize that he was going for the plant. Or I don't know. Maybe someone was telling him on comms that they're not going to get the bomb down.
That's 2 players dead, and if Noob Trainee pushes through, he'll realize that no one else is there. The remainder of the over at bomb side A, including the bomb. This is a ninja attempt to plant the bomb that's sort of gone very, very bad. A foolish charge out. Darky walks out trying to block everybody down. It's a suicide round, and though we're not fans of suicide ecos, it sort of had to be done for Valhalla to get on with their lives. 13-13. We're heading down to the stretch.
So I feel like this is the make it or break round for Valhalla. If they lose this round, they're probably going to be forced to saving on the next one, and that will put Imposing Proxy at the tie point. So they really need to pick this one up. Otherwise, I think they're just going to let this game slip out of their hands.
It seems that they are on that precipice. Set A is the call for this round. Valhalla wants to get in, know that their smokes are going to be jungle, top E-box, and CT. Will it be enough? Will they throw the flashbangs that will accompany them? Maybe. They're at least smart enough to let Darky try to go for the ISO pick, but he's fighting a losing battle because he's got someone right up next to him at the top of the ladder.
Yeah, and taking blind op shots through smoke, I don't know if that was necessarily a good idea. It gave away your position of what you're trying to do. I feel like if you have an op trying to pick in Palace, then you know it's going to probably be an A take.
And we're in. Zamet's in, and he didn't last very long. Freaks cut down the next one. Solo Subs is dead. Then Bull. And then K-Bread. Back and forth we go. Every single time, IR Noob Trainee is the last one alive. And when we said Valhalla was out of their element, that they've executed poorly, and that there was no way they could win this round, they do, just to prove us wrong. 14-13.
Yeah, I mean, even though they kind of showed what they were going to do, Imposing Proxy didn't really rotate anyone over or get established that the take was coming. And, I mean, beautiful entries from Valhalla with the AKs, and now I mean, they have the chance to win it. Well, no, sorry. Buy round still coming in from Imposing Proxy, so actually War only with the pistol. So they do have the slight advantage going into this round.
I've just learned that the other game is about to go live, so the good thing is that though it should have started a couple minutes ago or a while ago, we haven't really missed much at all. So we're going to stick with this one, and Ruin's going to run with it. Oh my god. Okay. That could have been terrible.
And now Vor has a gun, and the power shift switches once again. This game is ridiculous.
This game is very entertaining for its mistakes and for its successes, because we've seen some excellent shooting, sure, but a lot of our entertainment has come from the "what the hell are we looking at" plays.
Definitely agree.
And Solo Subs' great bunny hopping skills. By the way, everybody's flashed. RM New Trainee drops the bomb. He's going to get pre-fired right now. He still wins that battle, though. He walks away with 14 HP, 2 alive on the T side. They'll walk right into his gunfire, and they've rotated back to help the teammate. Darky's dead. Joey Slow's the last one alive, and he's on the flank. He's got one, but now the surprise is a bit Ruben.
Can he save this? Not really. I mean, the rest of his team's economy is kind of messed up here, so if he did go for the save, they'd still be saving regardless. I don't know. Four versus one.
Resignation.
4 versus 1 with the situation how it was. I think I would have saved it, just because that seemed like impossible, an impossible take on that site.
Well, we have to save and play for the tie if you're Valhalla. That's sort of depressing, given that you had the lead twice in this game already. Imposing Proxy, knocking on the door. It's their game to lose at this point. Set A, or a late set A with a single smoke, double flash is the call for Valhalla. They'll go long range. I suppose this is do the opposite of what your enemy expects you to do, but I still would have tried to force B this round, because I don't trust P250s that long range.
Well, last time they tried to force B on Nico, they ran into a wall of flames.
Oh, not speed B, just force B.
Okay,
later.
okay.
I can't help but feel that this is a losing effort, but Darky doesn't care. He doesn't believe us at all, and he doesn't die for that gun smartly because he thinks somebody's ready to trade, which they are at the jungle right now. Here's our execute. Buddy drops Darky. Everyone's out. It's a cascade of human bodies, and no one survives it at all. Imposing Proxy takes the 15th. They need one more.
I mean, Valhalla does have the money to buy. Zamet is a little bit low. He might be getting just a Galil here with some armor. So they still got enough nades to do their A take if they want to, or get something going at B or mid. So this is definitely still. I mean, it's very possible for Valhalla to tie this up and send it into OT.
They may. We can only hope. Unfortunately, given the weight and bearing of the CEVO-P match, I'm almost certain that we'll be asked to move over to the other game, which would just kind of break my heart, because this game's been really fun.
It has been. These close games are always very fun.
It's a very speedy wrap to A. Solo Subs is just taking up real estate as fast as humanly possible. He's moving. They've almost sealed off the jungle. We'll try to move in right now. One in the site. Joey knows it. He's called over. Darky will try to hold and look back at the catwalk. Freak will trade. Now all the CTs are clamping down on the Ts. The mid-executors are gone, and only the wrapping component, or the leg component of Valhalla's A-take is left, and now just Zamet. He plants the bomb to save his team. He'll have to do this. 1, then not 2.
Oh.
All it takes is the fuse. Imposing Proxy wins it. We'll go back to our lobby, and we'll